Hello, blessings. Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me at Inner Landscapes at Enchanted Evening. And I am back after about a 2-week break, a little vacation I needed. I am back and I'm glad to have you guys with me. So I am running a little late on monthly readings. I'm just now beginning to get out your monthly readings for each sign for August. And so I just thank you guys for your patience and bearing with me on the little break I had to take. But I say we just go ahead and get down to business. I hope everyone is doing well. And this message is actually Leo's August messages. So hi, Leo audience. Let's get down to it. So I did receive some messages right off the bat for you guys for your month. And it's a few things. So the first thing, and I wasn't sure if I was getting this right, but they did it almost in the end up kind of, well, not kind of, they did kind of, they did end up loudly reiterating. They didn't scream at me, but they did loudly reiterate this message. So that confirmed it for me when I was kind of unsure about whether that's what I was to be telling you or not. So it's a rather simple message, but their first message to you is to be courageous. Very simple, but they're adamant about you hearing that. This month is all to do with everything that occurs and everything that you experience this month is all tied to you being courageous. It's all tied to you standing within your power, within your own power. And it's a word, the phrase that comes to mind is a phrase or a word that I've been given not too long ago, and that just keeps kind of rolling around in my head every now and then. And it's essentially your soul power. And that relates to your third chakra, which is this solar plexus chakra, and it's of the color yellow. But they're saying, especially for this particular message for you guys, that it's all to do with the power of your soul. That's where everything you really need in this world comes from, anything of worth. And they're saying that's your soul power. That's what this month is all about, tuning into that, standing in your power, and being courageous because you are in your soul power, which is another way of saying in your God power. So this month is really about knowing and acting and being from that place of soul power. So that's the first part of the message for you guys. The next thing I got was really interesting. And they showed me and kind of explained to me that you guys are on the verge this month. Seriously on the verge. Like, I can see the balance kind of tipping, something right on the edge. You're on the verge this month of, what's the best way to relay this? Of a huge idea. The wheels are already in motion on this idea, this grand idea is what they're showing me. The wheels are already in motion. Again, it's right on the verge, the tipping edge they're showing me. But what it is that it's a gift, a pure, grand divine gift, divinely inspired and given, packaged and given right to you. And they want me to say it's also in the form of knowing. It's almost like you already know this. It's something that they've given to you to know, and it's related to a creative idea. It's something that you don't have to go fishing for or try to brainstorm for, because they've already given it to you. It is a creative idea, and that they've given to you. It's divinely inspired. It's a divinely inspired creative idea, and it's coming to you all. They are giving me that it's coming to you all through your sense of claircognizance, and that's just clear knowing. That's another way of saying your clear knowing. You know how some people have clairvoyance, which is clear seeing. Some people have a stronger gift of claircognizance, which is clear knowing. They just automatically know things, and that's through the knowing comes straight from divine knowledge, God knowledge given directly to you. They're showing me that's what this is, this grand idea that you're on the verge of. But the way they're giving it to me, they're showing me that it's like it's been given to you, wrapped up nice and pretty, perfect idea, and it's just been dropped like right into your head. But it's almost like you're kind of keeping it out. I don't know if it's because it's a creative idea and maybe you all are looking for something more left-brained or practical, something that you can kind of track and really make sense of and logic out. And it's not that at all. So maybe, but they're showing me, and I'm thinking that's maybe why they're showing me it's been given to you. It's kind of been dropped right into your little brain, but you keep lobbing it back to God. It's the strangest thing that I've ever seen. But they keep showing me it's like you're not accepting it. It's kind of like you keep preventing it or pushing it, that idea right back out, right back to God. It's like it's a volleyball, a little volleyball that you keep lobbing back to God, and God keeps giving right back to you, but you keep kind of pushing it right back out. It's the most interesting thing, but it's a very clear thing that they're showing me. So anyway, they just showed me that, and I am going to, and I usually leave my 2 cents out of this. I just directly give it as I see it, or as I'm given it. But I am throwing in my 2 cents here because that's all they gave me on that, is just that sense of what I just explained to you, the lobbing of this wonderful idea, this gift going back and forth between you and the divine, and you're not accepting of it, the non-acceptance. But my 2 cents is, and I'm adding this in addition to what they gave me, which I don't usually do, accept it. They're not saying we're giving it to you, please ask them to accept it. They just showed me there's a gift continuously being given, but also continuously being rejected. That's all they said. I am saying, personally, accept it. Don't reject it out of hand because it's not what you were expecting. It's not the gift that you wanted. It's not the way you wanted to go. If I were you, I would just accept it, dear Leos. I'm almost begging you at this point, please, because it's almost the silliest things. Just take it. Take that divine knowing, that claircognizance idea and hint that you keep getting, and roll with it. And I do think that that this part of the message does relate and tie back to the first part of the message, where it might take some courage from you to actually accept what may feel to you like a different road, a different path than you were planning, you logically or practically planned out for yourself. Trust this new knowledge that you're being given, this new idea, this new way that you're being given. It'll lead you to exactly where you want to go and better. Okay, so now back to their messages. So the last very short and sweet message that they gave me was another very clear and simple message. And I know you all are familiar with this phrase, but this is what they want you to hear. If you build it, they will come. And that's all I got. So I'm giving it to you in that way. That is what the Creator, that is what your divine team would like you to know. If you do build it, they will come. There may be a million different things that can relate to for each one of you, Leos, but do take that as you will. I'll just leave it at that, and let's go ahead and get into the reading. And maybe there may be more of these initial messages that do come out and tie into the cards that I lay out. We'll see. It usually does, but let's go ahead and I'll shuffle and we'll see what happens. So I didn't pre-shuffle this time, so you'll have to give me just a moment. And I am breaking in some of my newer cards. Doreen Virtue's Fairy Tarot card. Actually, I think this is Doreen Virtue and Bradley Valentine together on this one. But anyway, so these are a little stiff to shuffle, but it is not my first time using these. But I've been just getting led more and more recently. The more readings I do, I'm led to work even more closely with our elemental friends, more closely with fairies. So I am following that guidance. So just know that through these readings and related to your divine team, that you have a lot of elemental helpers, especially fairies, that are divinely willing and have chosen to help you all. So, okay, so that is my long explanation of why I'm using fairy tarot cards. Okay, give me one moment. Okay. And just a reminder, in case you guys didn't catch it in previous readings, I do not read reversed cards in reverse. Okay. So, and for this reading, as I mentioned previously in other readings, I believe I mentioned in weekly readings especially, I added a timeline that help go further into detail and pinpoint specific points in time throughout the month, to go into further details and help you see what else will be coming up, you might be experiencing. Okay, so here we go. All right, first card is the Five of Spring. See if you can see that. And this shows the overall energies for you all for this month. And essentially your overall energies. I'm sorry, I was getting some picking up some things from this already, but this card actually relates to what we were speaking about in the initial messages from your team. And it does show me there, what's the best way to put this? This month, as I mentioned for you all, is about you staying in your divine power or your soul power and being courageous. Yes, but also this general energies card for this month is showing me as well that I guess I'll call it a spiritual, it's not a fight or a battle, but it's just that lobbing of the volleyball I kept seeing going back and forth. So it's like a spiritual match, a disagreement of energies, but it has to do with that initial message of the lobbing of that great idea back and forth, and it's completely tied to your in the spiritual sense. You're tied up energy-wise in the spiritual sense is what they're showing me, because you're basically arguing. You're arguing with God. That's the best way to put it. It's not a fight. You're just not agreeing, not accepting what's going on spiritually for you, what God is doing for you, offering you. So that is the general energy for this month. Okay. Next card is the Queen of Autumn. And this card shows what the foundation of the general energies is for this month. The foundation, the roots, or the reason why these energies are for this month, the main energies. So, again, this is the Queen of Autumn. Oh gosh, this goes again right back to the initial message. And I am just the messenger here. But again, I see this, and I'll just go ahead and call it a battle of the wills. Let's just leave it, let's just call a spade a spade. Battle of the wills, and the reason for that battle of the wills is what I mentioned as well in the beginning, that I was receiving from your guides. That you want things to go a certain way. You are sitting on your throne, king or queen of your world, and have a certain script and idea of the logical way things should go. And you have decided very strongly, whether you consciously realize it or not to deviate or deter from that. And this, so essentially, this is, for all intents and purposes, in this spread, in this reading, the card of stubborn will. And this can be good in certain cases, but you never want to sit on your own throne in opposition to that which is above you, to God, to your divine team. But like I said, I don't know if you all consciously have just made the choice to remain in your, remain the way you want things to be and kind of stick to that game, or if it's an unconscious thing, but it's happening, is what they're showing me. That you are retaining control. And of course, this is, again, it's about your soul empowerment, your soul power. But you don't need to stick and stay in your soul power when it comes to God. When it comes to this world, everything, that you see around you, other people, things like that, yes, you need to maintain your personal power in the midst of, how many ever millions or billions of individual personal powers there are out there in this world, in this 3D experience. You be you, yes. But not with God. And I think that's what they're saying. Some of you aren't realizing, or you're forgetting, that you are the master of your ship and your fate and yourself. But it is always better to respect and follow the will of the one that created you. Let's put it that way. Things will happen and get done, and a lot more quickly, a lot less painfully, and in a lot more better abundance, is what they're showing me. So, Leos, king and queens of the forest, of your own domain, God rules even that. You rule your own domain, but God is in charge of you ruling your domain. Don't forget, don't get it twisted. All right, so next card is the Seven of Autumn. And this is what your desires are this month. What are you guys doing? You guys are too funny. That's all right, Leos. So, excuse me. This is showing me that your truest desire, dear Leos, is to have your cake and eat it too. Now, in all honesty, that is a funny saying, but we know what it means. Of course, we all want to have our cake and eat it too. We don't just want to have cake to look at it. So that's why I say it's a funny saying. But we know the meaning behind that. Meaning, you can't have things both ways. And it really depends on the situation at hand, how that can be taken. But Yeah, there's a million different ways to explain that, but you all know the gist of that whole saying, so I won't go into it further. Um, yeah, but that's what this card is showing. That's what you want. You want to have your cake and eat it too. But in the sense of this phrase, it's not a good thing. Okay. Or let's put it this way, it's not the best thing for you. It's not the best idea. All right. Next card shows, well, it's the Six of Winter. And this card shows it's your luck card, what you have going in your flow, because you've already sown seeds into this. You've already planted your seeds here, and you don't, it's working for you. You don't need to, put any more energy into this. You've got it in your flow. And this is just showing me, I actually want to say, as far as those seeds that I mentioned, I'm not sure what, to each of you, they may be something different. These seeds that you've sown previously, which are now your good fortune and working for you, I'm seeing that in 4 days, and I don't usually get timelines, but when I do, I pay attention. In 4 days, you are actually going to see the breakup of things that may have been in stagnation for you. The breakup of things that might have been in your way, obstacles. And again, each of you maybe something different. But in 4 days, I see that you'll begin to consciously notice smoother road in front of you. There'll be smoother times ahead for you because of the seeds that you've already sown. And I have a feeling it's relating to this, the acceptance of this gift that God has been trying to give you. But again, in 4 days, it's showing that you guys are going to notice some really good movement for yourselves. Okay, next card is the Nine of Autumn. And this card shows what obstacles or challenges you have for you this month, what you have to work on that isn't already sown in your flow, seeds that you have not sown yet. And they're showing here that again, it's relating to this wanting your cake and eating it too. Wanting to have your cake and eat it too. This is showing me that you want this. You want the things that you have been working for, hoping for, all of that. You want it like yesterday. You don't want to hear about planting seeds and waiting for them to grow, and they will grow eventually. This is essentially telling me that you're more than impatient on having your harvest. You want it now. You want it yesterday. You're just like, come on, you're ready for things to bloom and blossom, and beyond that, to have them to where you can use and appreciate their value in physical real time. Here again with the physical 3D, here and now, practical, logical, something I can feel, taste, touch, smell. Left brain sense. You want it here, you want it now, you don't want to get into the details of how it got here. It just needs to have gotten here yesterday. That is your challenge for this month. So you're going to have to work on your view of that. So this next card is the Eight of Spring. And this card shows what outside or other influences are working on your situation that you don't really have much control over. Well, it's definitely there. Okay, this is relating back to the our elemental fairy friends that I kind of introduced in the beginning, and made you guys aware of the fact that they are all around helping, and I like to call them our little helpers, but they're our elemental friends that do so much for us, that do so much for the earth. And by the way, if you hear noise in the background, that's raining, so I hope it's not too loud. But anyway, they do so much for our earth, our environment, for us. They're very good at handling practical matters and helping us with practical need. They're God's little helpers, earth angels almost, if you will, because their energies are elevated, but they're still very much tied to the earth. Right alongside us human beings. So, but this is tied to them, and it shows me them helping. They're so hard at work. I just see them as busy little bees, hard at work on each one of your desires and requests that you want to see yesterday. Your bounty that you want to see in physical real time. That's what this is showing me. This is your outside help, your outside influences affecting your situation and your general energies for this month. It's your elemental team going to work for you on and making these things happen. So this is a part of your divine team going to work for you in very practical ways. Now, going back to this, for you, in your mind, it just, or somewhere within you, it just feels like it's not fast enough, is what it's showing. But these things are happening, and regardless of when you want them to happen, it is happening in divine time. These elementals, these earth angels, these fairies, they still have to work with God's divine timing as well. Even though they can be masters at getting things done, if divine timing isn't right, they're not going to short circuit that. Okay? So next card is called Renewal. Hope you can see that. And this card talks about what the divine's guidance is for you, the creator or your divine team's guidance is for you. And they're saying that one thing that will help you is to, if you're not already, and I think some of you already are, but for those of you who aren't yet, to start writing things down. I know, I'm sure if most of you, if not all of you, have your goals and things like that written down, practical things written down. Write down more than that, they're saying. Write down your ideas, even the divinely inspired ones that you know you get, that are more on the creative side, that you don't necessarily agree with. You just think is too fanatical or too crazy or too far out there or just doesn't fit. Write those down anyway. Okay? And yeah, write down also your feelings about those. And continue to do so, daily if you can. And I have a feeling you're going to notice the shift in your thought processes and your perspective on these things coming into being for you, into fruition for you, as including the divinely inspired creative aspects of things that God's trying to give you. I think you're going to see more and more daily, as you do this daily, the value in those things that God is offering you, or more than offering you. He's been giving it to you. You just keep giving it back. Anyway, write. That is the divine guidance for this month. Develop a good practice of writing about those things. Writing about your experiences in general, but yeah. So, okay, next is the Ace of Summer. And this card talks about your strength, your inner strength usually. It shows what you have within you that is your greatest strength for this month, for the general energies. A tool that you can reach in to yourself and pull out for your own use at any given time, because you've already mastered this portion. And this talks about, even though you're in this position right now where you're on your throne and honestly thinking that you know best over what's being presented to you divinely, even though you're in this mode for whatever reason, even though you're in that mode right now, this card is talking about going back to your strength of your innocence. Because that's who and what you are at heart. True, pure innocence. That births and has always birthed for you a genuine love of life. And that's what attracts so many people to you, Leos. Your enthusiasm for life, your joie de vivre, all of those things, your boundless energy for adventure, life, all of the good things in life, and your desire and ability to live it well. But all of those things that I just mentioned that make you so attractive to people, to others, all of those things comes from your innocence. Your inner innocence, your inner dedication to discovering and learning and taking in, like a child, life and everything that it has to offer. And I think what this is saying at this point, the reason this is coming up as your greatest strength this month is just because you, in a little way, just like a little kid that eats too much. Maybe it's that cake, that extra piece of cake, that eats too much. At the end of the day, their eyes were bigger than their stomach. They get a little full of themselves, get a little greedy without, adult supervision. And by adult supervision, I mean God's supervision. Or get a little greedy if they ignore supervision. They're saying, come back to this. Be that innocent, courageous, full of life, immense, generous, loving, love of life child of God, really, that you really are. Get back to this. This is going to be your greatest strength. Looking again through the eyes of the child is also the message that I'm getting for that. All right. So then, actually, before I get to this outcome, I will go through your timeline cards. Actually, I am going to do something different for this time. I'm going to put a hold on the timeline cards for now. And I'll tell you why in a moment. So your outcome card is the Ace of Spring. And this Ace of Spring, well, this outcome card shows where you're headed if you go with the general gist and flow of the rest of this spread, of the rest of this reading. And it shows where you're heading is for a almost a rebirth, brand new beginning, where you do get to have that joie de vivre again for life, but from a more a better perspective, a more innocent perspective again, more youthful perspective, not so jaded perspective, where you appreciate and don't mind the growth process of life, the cycles of life. You're okay in the wait, in the lying in wait of things to come to their full fruition, and appreciating every stage. Just like God is with you, doing with you. So that is where you're heading for this month. That's the outcome for your month, this month, August. All right, so I've adopted a new, what's the word I'm looking for? I've adopted a new spread, and I'm just going to go ahead with that now here. And it kind of brings together and gives a little short synopsis of pretty much every aspect of your life. Just a little snapshot into each aspect and each area of your life. And then I want to mention, as far as the timeline that I'm kind of eliminating for now, I do have something for you in regards to that, but we'll get to that after this snapshot reading that I'll do for you guys. Yep. Okay. So, this first card here, Queen of Winter. This card is, hold on just a moment. So, this card is showing me that I'm trying, what's the best way to relay this? I'm going to come back to this one. Yeah, let me come back to this one. All right, so this card gives a glimpse into your love life, and this is the Chariot. And this card actually shows that some of you Leos are dealing with a Cancer, a Cancerian. Romantic love life wise. And this Cancer is coming in this month with an offer for you. Let me rephrase that. Charging in with an offer for you, a very passionate offer for you. As you may well already know, Cancerians are a water sign, very filled with emotions, let's put it that way. And those emotions aren't always worn on their sleeves, but with you, this month you're seeing a different side of a Cancerian you're connected to, a passionate, full of emotive emotions, coming at you, charging at you. That's what this is showing for you romantic wise. And if it's not a Cancer, there is somebody that is embodying that type of energy where they're just wearing their heart, their emotions on their sleeve, and they usually don't. But they are coming at you hard and fast with a passionate offer. Okay. Next we have the Emperor. This is showing me that this is something relating to a father figure, if not your actual father. I don't know. It's talking about having a heart-to-heart with him, some sort of important conversation, deep conversation. I want to say that for you both in this conversation, you may not be on, I don't want to say on the same ground, you may not see eye to eye on every level and every aspect of this heart-to-heart that you have, but do know that it is coming for both of you, for you, Leo, and for this person that you have the conversation with, a father figure. It looks like that it is the basis of it for the both of you is coming from love. Even where you don't see eye to eye, it's important to keep that in mind and remember the only reason that you are having this conversation with each other is because there is love. It's out of love. But I see this as a good conversation. It's a necessary, important conversation. And I'm also getting the sense that part of what will come out in this heart-to-heart talk is what you... It's interesting. You're, in a sense, mirroring each other. It's because you want to get out and punctuate and make known what you desire for them, and they want to do the same with you. They want to make it clear what they want for you. Okay, so that's that. An important heart-to-heart with a father figure, a male that's important to you in your life. Probably, and if it's not your father, it's an older male that's someone that's like a father to you. Okay, next we have the Six of Summer. And this card is talking about showing me that you guys have, this is talking about investments. And these are investments that you've made, not only for you, but for your children, your children's children, basically your legacy, your progeny. So I don't, maybe something like a trust fund, but it's showing me that the reason that it's here is that it's showing me money-wise that that's what your focus is on this month. Making sure that those who depend on you, or at least at one time depended on you, as if maybe they were dependent on you because they were your children, but maybe now they're grown up. But those who have depended on you or still depend on you, that making sure that they are okay, squirreling away money for their security. Showing me accounts that are doing actually really well in relation to that. But that your focus this month is really on growing that. And for the few that it may not be, those investment accounts may not be where you want them to be at this point, they're showing me that they will get there, because that's kind of that's sort of a project for you this month to invest in those investments accounts. And it is showing me that those investments will pay off. It's showing me your legacy essentially being taken care of financially, because this is the financial sector of this reading. Next card is Release. And this is showing me that, I want to say more than 50%. I'm not going to say the majority, but more than 50% of you, quite a number of you this month, if you haven't already, you are starting the process of moving on for the job that you have had. And maybe not even just the job you've had, but moving or switching or transitioning careers. Letting go of where you've been career-wise. Leaving a job, If you haven't already, you're making inroads towards doing so. And I'm showing it here that you're doing that because you want to, and I think these two are tied. You want to go to work for yourself, and not only for yourself, but for your legacy, to leave them something. So that's why I feel these two are tied. I feel you want to be your own boss. Basically, I see this as you letting go of your old job, old career, even if it was flourishing, so that you can invest in yourself and be fully in charge of yourself and your own life in this world, and become an entrepreneur, so that you have more say-so, more control over where you invest your energies, how you invest your energies, and, along those lines. This goes, again, more towards you wanting to be fully in charge, master of your ship type of deal. So here, that's good. But again, I think you have to go back to that creative idea God's been trying to give you, and take a better look at it with a different perspective, because I think that's going to shoot this whole entrepreneurial thing into a different realm, one that you couldn't have even imagined, with all of the planning that you may have done up to this point, or all the planning that you may do. What God has given you is, as far as this creative idea, you cannot match it with all of your planning. That's what it's showing me. Okay, next. King of Spring. And this card is showing me what's going on with you and the more spiritual side of your life. It shows me that eventually, and I'm assuming at some point this month, it doesn't show me when, but eventually you do take the divinely inspired idea. You do take that immensely, insanely good idea, and you do make it your own. You do finally accept it from God, and it shoots you off into amazing activity. That's all I can say. Really, I'm seeing really, really good action coming from this. But what I'm also seeing is that it's so funny. You being as unique as you are, dear Leos, you took that idea and you really made it your own. I can't even describe the way I'm seeing how you fit it for your own individuality. It's like a crown that you're wearing, as in a unique crown, but you're making it work for you. You've accepted it. You've accepted God's take on what you should be doing, and you're running with it. You're mastering it, and you're going on to create this empire, if you want to call it, this kingdom that you're in charge of for you and your loved ones. So that's good stuff, my dear Leos. And I'll tell you, you're the first one I've done this new spread with, in addition to your regular spread, because this is Leo season. So it's my birthday gift for you. Happy birthday. But I won't be able to do this for each of the signs. So maybe I'll do this as a birthday treat for every month, whoever's sign's birthday it is. I might do it that way. But what I did want to mention is that I will put this in the description box below as well, but I do have a sample of some calendars that I do. I not too long ago started doing. And they are daily guidance calendars that I do for each sign. It's based on, a daily guidance calendar for Leos, a daily guidance calendar for Virgos, and on and on. It's for a month. Each calendar has 30 or 31 days in it, or 29, 28, depending on leap year. So I will monthly be doing that, but those are actually for sale. And I will put the link for that if you're interested below. I am giving away for the birthday month people. I will be giving those away. So if you would like, if you're a Leo and would like to go ahead and get a sample of a week's worth of daily guidance for this month, it's for August, I will go ahead and send that out to you, but only the Leo ones will be free. Otherwise, if you would like your own sign, there is a cost to that. I don't remember. I think either $3 or $5 for the. Like I said, it's only a week's worth of guidance, but I do offer the full month's guidance, a daily guidance for each sign, but that's by request only, and it's done basically as you ask me. I do those readings and send the calendar out to you within a day or two. So that's by request. And that is my announcement that I guess I decided to do at the end instead of the beginning, like I know most readers do. But anyway, there it is. I will make sure to include that at the end, and there is your free additional life aspects reading, is what I like to call it. And if you're interested, just go ahead and click on the link and you will find your free Leo calendar preview for the daily guidance calendar. And for others that may be cross-watching this, there is the ability to have a preview, but it is not free, of your own particular sign for daily guidance for the month of August. Okay? I wish you all nothing but blessings for your birthday month, and I will see you next time.